So I was talking a little bit about the changing nature of the CO2 supply chain. There's a lot of dynamics that are changing around CO2 supply from both the market side, the demand side, as well as the supply side. And so we were talking a little bit about what have we seen up to now and what do we expect for the future. And really it's a very challenging situation with some real good opportunity on the demand side and some very big challenges on the supply side. So you have the traditional demand that's really driven by the food industry, really good base growth every year over year from the food and beverage industry. And then you have some very interesting emerging applications such as e-fuels, e-methanol, sustainable aviation fuel, green concrete, and things like that are driving some new demand in the marketplace, which has the potential to be gigantic relative to what we're used to in the traditional segments. Really, the demand in the traditional segment has grown a lot through the dry ice segment. So dry ice has seen tremendous growth in shipping and e-commerce, and also in the vaccine area, vaccines and dry ice blasting. So that's really been a positive for the industry. And these emerging markets really are not yet delivering demand to the CO2 industry, but they have the potential in the medium and long term to be gigantic sources of demand. For the emerging demand, biogenic is in some cases essential because it's all about low carbon fuels. So you need to be using biogenic CO2 and not fossil fuel CO2 to produce those products. So I would say it's essential to many of those, the economics and the carbon footprint of many of those products. We're kind of not at the peak of the wave. We're down in the trough. Supply right now is stable across Europe and across North America, and so we're not really seeing any big supply shortages. But the same dynamics are there that were there last year. It's just that the natural gas price has stabilized, which has stabilized the ammonia industry, which has stabilized the supply of raw CO2 into our industry. And whether that's long-term or temporary is, nobody really can predict that. But the same dynamics are there, and if natural gas prices go up, the same crisis will play out again until we increase capacity with some of these other sources that aren't so linked to energy costs. We need to be focused on the long term. We really need to have a long-term plan. We need to understand that we need something different, that we need diversification of CO2 sources. And if we can do that, if we can develop that along with keeping a healthy industry and making money, keeping a profitable industry, then we're going to be stronger coming out of it. But if we continue to rely on the same sources that we have relied on and we don't try to shift our demand to these alternative sources, we risk having the same crises that we've had since 2006, really over and over again.